Hello YouTube, today I have another action figure review for you all. This time I had to zoom out, back up the tripod, because this is on a card. So to fit everything in frame, I had to back up a few inches. But nonetheless, this is the Mandalorian, Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian from the Credit Collection line. I believe there's multiple variants of the Mandalorian, but this is based off of one of the images from the credits. As you can see on the side, you have him in his blister card packaging with what I believe is life-size Imperial credit at the top. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's life-size compared to how it appears in the show. Here's the back of the packaging. You can see the image that the figure is based off of. Basically, fight scene, all of the blues, reds, pinks, and browns that are on the action figure himself appear to just be light reflecting off of his armor. So there's nothing on the bottom except for the instructions. Of course, there's no sides. So that's going to be it for the packaging. I'm going to open them up and then review them. Alright, so here we have them. Standing straight up and down as best as I can get them to stand. First thing I wanted to note is I might just have to buy a second one of these to keep in the box because I really like the artwork on the box. The bio on the back of the box, if you paused it and read it earlier, was pretty interesting. It just tells you what the figure is based off of, and a little bit of other things. Because it's a card, I think that it would be a cool decoration. I know a lot of people put these on the wall. That's kind of what I wanted to buy another one for. I was trying to be as careful as possible when opening it, just so I wouldn't mess up the package. I know you could use like water or something like that on the back of it, but then that would just mess up the back. So I just went along with it and then messed it up a little bit on the front, the packaging, but the picture's still there and everything. So I just wanted to note that if you wanted to have that not be messed up, you could either try something else or just don't open them in general. So it comes with 3 accessories. One of them is currently on his person. The second is his unpainted jetpack, completely unpainted. There's 2 holes in the bottom. I guess you could put accessories or blast effects in there. It looks like it pegs in with 3 ports that just go on his back. I would recommend taking the cape off since it doesn't sit well with the cape on. And then whenever you plug this in, you can't really plug in his other accessory, which is his rifle. Mine came a little bit warped. You can't really tell on camera, but it is very soft plastic all throughout, except for the middle. And then it's even soft on the tip here. The scope is a little bit rubbery as well, but there's a little port or peg here that you can peg it into his back, so it would sit roughly like that. But when you plug a jetpack in, you cannot have that there. His third accessory is his sidearm, which I put in his holster. I wanted to show that off because when you have that in there, you can't plug it all the way in. When you take it out, of course you have the little trigger hole there. I tried to get it to go through there, but you can't. When you have it like that, it doesn't sit far enough to the right. And then when you have it this way, it doesn't go all the way down, so you can't get it in there. Let me know if you have any recommendations for that. But otherwise, here is the pistol, blaster, whatever you want to call it, because I'm not too into Star Wars lore, so I don't really know what weapons are called and things like that. But getting into the figure himself, like I already mentioned, this is rubbery. It's just all blue with a tiny bit of weathering. He is weathered a little bit throughout, but all of this is the lighting effect from the artwork, which kind of looks like battle damage, like he's been through the mud. So I guess you could pass it for that too, but this is blue. So it's just completely based off of that artwork. You can see his different shins here, his knee pads. Overall, it's a well-rounded design. I would like to mention one sort of flaw in the articulation segment. But first, I'd like to mention his head is really fairly soft. I wouldn't say really soft, but fairly soft plastic there, so I wouldn't worry about breaking it. Everything else is what I would assume would be standard Black Series quality. Even though it is made by Hasbro, it doesn't really feel like a G.I. Joe when it comes to quality-wise. He has ratcheted elbows instead of normal double-jointed pegs or hinges. I forget what they're called. But yeah, so design-wise, it's not your traditional Din Djarin. It is 100% based off that artwork. And I guess technically you could say he has a fourth accessory, but to me this is more of a display piece or a 1-to-1 scale accessory that you could use if you're into cosplay or things like that. But you have the Imperial credit. I do not know the value. I would like to. I guess I could technically look it up, but I don't even know how the values work or anything. But it's just a simple 3D printed piece, as you can tell, and painted gold. Kind of looks like a piece of candy to me, almost like a golden chocolate bar. Like, that's what I think of it as. Here it is compared to Mando. It's about almost waist high. It's thigh high. So way too big for him. I do wish they would have came with an extra hand. Hasbro has a tendency to hate on giving extra hands for some reason, but I wish he would have came with a hand that had at least one, possibly 3 of these in there, actually scaled to 1/12 scale. So getting into articulation, I'm going to start with the head as always. So you can look up with the cape on that much. You can look down that far, of course 360. You can tilt a slight bit to the left, more to his left and less to our left, so his right. And then you have 360 at the shoulder. Can't really go up because of his armor, but they do go up a slight bit. You have no biceps swivel. You have ratcheted elbows, like I mentioned earlier, which is honestly kind of interesting. Only goes 90, but it's integrated into the outfit pretty well, so it's kind of hidden. Makes him look more realistic. Of course, rotation. Well, I was going to say 360, but it rotates that far, and then it rotates in that far. So might as well say 360 without going all the way back that way. So as we put those down, he has rotation at the wrist, and then that hinges forward and back. So what I was going to mention earlier has to do with his chest. You can tilt left, tilt right, back a tiny bit. That's as far back. Forward that far, so a little bit more forward than back, but still not that much. Just enough that you would need, though, for posing in photography. Now, what I was going to mention has to do with the ammo here, this little satchel. I don't know the exact term for it, But the strap there connecting to his belt, as far as waist or side-to-side rotation, that's about as far as you're going to get. And then that's as far as you're going to get there. Now, I was going to mention that I would be careful rotating the... so he doesn't actually swivel. That's molded. He doesn't swivel at the waist, but his side-to-side at the abs could tear that. Since it is connected there, I would hope that it would have been painted on and like molded, so it stopped there, a little cut there, and then the bottom, so that way you could rotate it a little bit further. But I guess to give a more realistic vibe, they went like that. So moving the arms out of the way, the legs go up nearly 90 degrees, double jointed knees. You can see the pins in there. They look to be metal, or I'm just blind. They might be plastic. Yeah, they're plastic. They're painted to match the green right here. And then his legs go out to the side that far. When they're forward, they can go out about 75 degrees to the side. This doesn't really get in the way because it's soft plastic, moves out of the way. So does that side. Far back, it does not go back at all because the butt is in the way. It's a actual hard plastic instead of rubbery plastic like on the Joes. There is thigh swivel on both thighs. I feel like I have to mention that because some figures don't have it on both. So I already mentioned the double jointed knees. There's no calf cut right there, or shin swivel. The foot goes back that far, forward that far. No toe hinge. It goes to the side, all the way to the other side. And that's going to be it for articulation, unless I missed anything. If I had a flight stand with me, I could have done a lot cooler of a pose, but I just wanted to show off the figure without the cape, with the jetpack on. So, one last look at the cape. It's literally just rubbery, nothing special. I just wanted to show it off one more time. So, I took a hairdryer to the head, which it being soft already helped. So, after like probably less than a minute, I was able to pop off the head, and it's still a little bit warm. So it went on pretty easy afterwards. I actually didn't pop off the ball joint in the head. I popped off the ball joint at the neck. So I just placed that back on. I didn't realize that the neck was doing most of the work. The up and down is his ball joint in his head, and then everything else is the neck, of course. I mean, the neck goes down a little bit, but most of that up is going to be from the head. There is also what would normally be the figure's head inside of the mask. But of course, it's just gray because it's a non-removable. And I don't think there is any Black Series Mandos with removable helmets, at least this specific character. I'm pretty sure the females have removable helmets. But yeah, I would like to get them in a flight pose and do some cool photography to put at the end of the review, but I don't really have a flight stand with me right now. I do have a lot of SH Figure Art stands, but they're not here right now. And then as far as photography goes, I'm not that experienced to give any really cool poses for the end of the video. But to wrap it up, I think I'm going to stand him up, and we're going to put the arm down. Let's see, will he stand? So he's not standing completely straight, so let me try to fix that. Oh, and also the jetpack. There you go. There's a little cutout for the strap there. You can do numerous things with the jetpack. I'm sure there's other figures you could place it on that it would look good on too. I would paint it if I was a skilled painter, but I'm not. So I don't really have many figures except for the ones that I've already reviewed. So here he is next to the only Marvel Legends I own at the moment, being Sam Wilson, Captain America, from the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So Sam Wilson is bigger, or taller, I mean. He will not stand up. So, whoops. I don't really take Mando to be a very tall person. I'm gonna guess around 5'7" is the actor height. I don't know about Captain America over there, but Marvel Legends tend to be taller than a lot of 6-inch scale figures anyways. They're pushing 6.5, 7-inch, and then the Black Series is more true to action figure 1/12 scale. Now, Articulated Icons is also true to 1/12 scale. So here he is compared to my Ninja as I push him over. Trying to do this without making a bunch of cuts. So there you go. I would say the Ninja's probably taller, but the Ninja's also bent over a little bit right now, so he looks shorter. I would stand him up, but I like the pose he's in. But here's Duke kneeling down. I guess that could give you a decent comparison as well, because if you were to kneel Mando down, he would be shorter. And then one last being Lady J. They're all in the same poses I left them in last time for size comparison. She's not going to stand up whatsoever, so that's the best you got. I'm going to set her back down. So to wrap up this review, for one, I don't get why I'm saying so much. I think this is the most I've said in a review. But I would like to mention I have ordered a Grogu Black Series figure, the one with just him and the frog, the 1.1-inch height. So I am excited to see how he scales with my Mando. I also have, if I'm saying her name right, I have Koska Reeves, I do not remember how to say her name. Black Series as well. There's a huge glare. Which appears to have a removable helmet. So these are the two Black Series figures I own now. That is the version from the Mandalorian TV show. And I plan on getting Bo-Katan as well from the Mandalorian. I will also say, just like with G.I. Joe or any other thing really besides the MCU, I'm not too familiar with characters, outfits, different variants, things like that. As far as Star Wars goes, I was born in 2004, so I pretty much grew up with the Clone Wars, but I watched it when I was about 4 years old, because it came out when I was 4 years old, and ended when I was like, I don't know, probably 7 to 12 years old, so I wasn't paying attention, definitely wasn't watching them in order whenever they were on live TV. So, Bo-Katan, I actually just remembered, or just realized who she was. I rewatched the Clone Wars last night. I finished Season 7 last night, I'm trying to go back and rewatch as much Star Wars as I can, because it's interesting, always will be, and I haven't watched it in a long time. So, to prepare for more reviews, because there have been characters I've wanted to buy as far as action figures for a long time, but I wanted to get to know them better over the course of movies and TV shows before I reviewed them, so I would know a little bit more about them for the review sake. But that's basically it. My next video will be Koska Reeves. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm gonna have to look that up. And then hopefully Grogu has arrived on the porch as I was making this review, so I'll be able to finish that one afterwards. hopefully. If not, the date. I ordered all of these figures from Amazon. All of these figures except for the articulated icons. Of course, I ordered that from thefloosh.com. But as much as I don't like ordering from Amazon, they have had things in stock, unlike Hasbro. So, the last thing I would like to mention is the packaging from Amazon. To kind of shout them out, is the way they packaged. Both of these came in one box. The box is actually right here, number 93, if that means anything. My philosophy that I've started to realize is that every box has a different number, so I'm assuming that's a specific size and weight rating and all that. Is a lot nicer to have than the box that I'm doing these reviews in, because when I got the Joe figures, they had one and then one on the other side of the box, and this box is more rectangular and it's fairly short, but the other box was taller, like it had more depth, but it was really skinny. So the way they did it, they had air bubbles, one underneath the figures. This box was up against a box that the card came in, because of course they're not going to package a card just as is. Okay, I do apologize, everyone just walked in the door, so I'm sure kids will be crying any second now. But to finish what I was saying, the packaging was really well. They used 3 different air bubble strips, packaged it in one box. They were packaged very nice, no box damage or anything like that. I've had several figures from Amazon in years past, and every single one of them came damaged. So it's really nice that either their quality of shipping is getting better in general, or their workers are being more careful with packaging now. But that's my review. Look out for the rest. If you enjoyed this one, thank you for watching. Goodbye.